Joining me this week is Jaxyys. She's fairly new on the scene, but is doing a pretty crazy Runescape 3 story mode, where she's going through every piece of lore-related content in the game. She's on episode 5 right now, and is making great progress through. We've got a few quests completed, and it's a very fun series. You've got a lot of fun reactions, lots of good voice acting, and I would highly suggest go to check it out. Obviously, we're going to find a little bit more about how she first found RuneScape, her history with the game, whatever games she plays, and a whole lot more with Twitch chat's questions, including what's a flapjack. I hope you guys are ready to join me as we head into the mind of Jaxyys. Hello, Jaxyys. Welcome. How are you this fine evening?
I'm great. I'm being interviewed, so that's fine. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you normally with interviews? In terms of like job interviews and stuff.
Job interviews? I actually haven't done too many. I had to do one for being an RA on the floor, which was fine. That went fine. But usually, I know, I'm cool. I'm smooth. I'm fine. So this is no different. We are all good.
Sweet. All right. Well, how did you get into RuneScape? How did that first get introduced to you?
The classic question.
You got to start.
I started as everyone pretty much started, as a young lass, just finding entertainment after school. And this was back in the days when RuneScape was still on Miniclip. So my brothers and I would search Miniclip for like different games, And yeah, we just came upon RuneScape one day. And I remember playing it after school sometime, and I was so afraid to go into like the goblin village outside Lumbridge. So all I would do is wait until other players had killed the goblins, then pick up the bread dough, take it back to the stove in Lumbridge, and just cook bread. That's all I did. I can't remember how high the cooking got, but it was probably pretty high.
Nice. Are there any other stories of like your early days? You remember any other moments like that?
Oh man, that account is probably lost to the ages. I remember making a lot of accounts just because, making new characters. It was fun at the time. I had a RuneScape boyfriend.
Nice.
Back in the day, I guess, and I would tell my friends before school, RuneScape. It was hilarious. Good old days.
Do you ever get lured or anything like that, or are you quite sensible?
I'm
talk to strangers.
No.
I guess where did the username come from? Jaxyys.
Jaxyys. Yeah, that's a question I get a lot. Are you sure you're ready for this answer?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Oh boy. The username was my OC name for my troll OC for Homestuck.
Okay.
That's where it first came about.
I mean, I don't know what Homestuck is, so...
Okay. Homestuck was this huge, like, webcomic back in the day. It was enormous, and it created quite a fan base, and they had, like, these aliens called trolls, and so I had an OC, and my OC's name was Jaxyys. The actual name comes from one day I was sitting in class, and me and my friends were just, tossing fun names at each other, and one person called me Jackson, like Jackson, but with an X. And I was like, ooh, I want to take the Jax part and just make it 6 letters long. So Jaxyys. And I've just used that ever since.
Wonderful. And now, obviously, you're quite into your lore. That much is obvious from the few episodes of the series so far. Have you got a favourite quest? I know you haven't finished all of the more recent ones, but of the ones you've done.
Oh, it's so hard to pick a favorite. I would say one that has a special place in my heart is Missing Presumed Death, because it is the quest that got me into the lore. I mean, I did the free-to-play quests and whatnot, but I got to Missing Presumed Death, and it was voice acted, and they were talking about the World Guardian and gods, and this guy died, I guess. Who is this Sliske person? I was like, I need to know more. So I sat through 5 years of lore just to figure out what Missing Presumed Death was talking about. So that's the one that started it all. I'd have to say one of my favorites is gotta be Fate of the Gods with Zeros and Azanadra. That was such a good quest. Oh, I love it so much. If Children of Ma was voice acted, it would be my favorite. But Fate of the Gods is just a little bit above, just because of that extra voice acting.
The little touch that it gives having that voice acting
Mm-hmm.
on there. Yeah.
So good.
So obviously, what One Small Favor was the first like fully voice acted one. No, not One Small Favor. One Piercing Note. I knew it was a one.
One piercing note.
That was the
That sounds
first
right.
like voice acting one they did, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
That sounds about right. I haven't gotten to it yet, and I haven't done it for a couple of years now, so I can't exactly remember what happens. But I'm excited to get back to it. It's fun.
there's so many stories in the game that like I played early on when I started, but I was kind of
Mm-hmm.
spacebarring because again I wasn't that worried about the lore when I first started out, and now
Mm-hmm.
a year and a half later, it's like, oh, I kind of wish I'd actually paid attention at that point. So, like you are
Right.
doing, going back through and replaying everything to
I try.
truly
That's why I'm
relearn
here.
it. So, what about a favorite character?
Ah, Pontifex Maximus Azanadra. He is. I don't know what I like so much about him. He's my favorite character of the Majorat, of the NPCs. Have you seen his cheekbones? Like, dang, his cheekbones. He's just so cool. I think Zeros puts it the best way, and he's intelligent, he's loyal, he's strong, he has power, he knows how to use it, but he's disciplined enough not to. And he's just a cool guy, okay? Azanadra is the best. Don't quote me on that. Or do, I don't care.
And then what about a favorite boss? It sounded like you were quite afraid of combat earlier on. I don't know if that's changed at all.
Listen, that's not fair. Yeah, I'm not a very big PVMer. I've always liked I think it's Telos, just because of his music. I think it's
Hmm.
Anima is what it
Yep.
called, so I have it playing in the background when I'm doing homework or something. And yeah, Anima is just a cool soundtrack, and I've seen people play against Telos, and I'm like, that is actually a really cool looking boss. Okay, I see you. And he has like enormous, implications for the lore as well. So I will have to fight him eventually, and I'm not looking forward to that. But it'll come in a couple years or so. So yeah, I would say Telos.
Okay. Yeah. So, because you're not just doing the quest, like you said, what is there anything you are going to sort of exempt, or are you going to try and do every kind of lore-related activity?
I'm probably gonna try and do every lore related activity. So dungeoneering and divination, all the way up to the Ark and
Hmm.
the elite dungeons and the bosses. One thing I probably won't do is read the books, just because they're unfinished, and I'm not sure exactly how canon they are, and I don't want to do that much reading. There
Yeah.
are other mini stories that Jagex has released that are canon that I will be reading, like a narration style, but the books probably not. I'm not sure if there's anything else I'll have to exclude. I'm just kind of
Gonna
going
come
with
across
it.
it and yeah, see where you get to.
Exactly.
Is there anything you're kind of dreading doing when it comes to
Telos.
lore? Yeah.
The bosses really also some of the very very long quests like Sliske's endgame, where it's going to take hours and hours to record, and I'm going to have to somehow either squish it down or do several episodes. So I'm just kind of thinking on how I'm going to do that. Some people have suggested I stream those episodes that are like super long, but that would just it'd be a change in my style. My style is more towards recording, so I don't know. Yeah, just mainly the bosses and elite dungeons. Those I'm kind of just dreading those. I'm here for the story, man. I'm not here to fight.
I mean, I'm sure you'll be fine. Like, you'll have plenty of help along the way.
True. I've got plenty of people in my Discord who are like, please, can we come with you? And I'm like, yes, please carry me through the elite dungeons. I
Hide
beg
at the
you.
back and just shield on. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
you guys are doing great. Keep it up. I'll stay here. Yep.
And have you maxed ever or not?
I have not. My main account has 98 smithing, and that's my biggest claim to fame. But I was never really into maxing or skilling. I was always into the quests. So whatever I needed for quests, I would do. But beyond that, I did want to go for masterwork armor because I thought it looked awesome. So that's why I tried to go for 99 smithing, but I haven't gotten there yet. No, I haven't maxed.
Fair enough. But have you got any 99s?
Nope. Never.
Fair enough. It's good because it's, you know, a lot of people's mindset when they play is that efficiency, get to the end, max all the skills out. So it's
Right.
quite refreshing having that other mindset of just playing it for fun in a way, really.
Yeah. And that's what my channel is, you know, just playing it for fun. And I see a bunch of people being like, "Oh, you're not maxed yet," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm just playing a video game. I'm having fun here. You were, you know, spending all this money on keys, I think, help and lamps and whatnot. But I mean, good on you if you max, because it's a huge accomplishment. Honestly, I could never sit there for hours just clicking one thing. So congrats to the people who have max, but I could never do it.
Yeah, it's a weird aspect of the game in that some parts are so active and you have to be paying attention all the time, whereas a lot of the time it's press for 5 minutes and wait, press again. So I think that's partly helped its like popularity and how it's lasted so long, though.
True. Yeah.
It opens it up to everybody. Yeah. All right. Well, what is your favorite skill to train when you're not questing?
That's a good question. I do actually really enjoy smithing, which is probably why I have it so high. Archaeology is honestly my favorite. I love it so much. Probably because of the lore.
Yeah, it's basically lore and just like a series of like small quests.
It's just a big quest. So,
Yeah.
you know, archaeology has been fun. I haven't done it on this account yet, the Jaxyys account, because I'm going to have to do that in the 6th age, like later down. But on my main account, when it first came out, I was training and I was like, oh, there's so much stuff. This is cool. Beyond that, for like actual skill, probably dungeoneering is a lot of fun. I think, you know,
a very divisive skill, dungeoneering. People love it or hate it. It is Marmite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it's also handy for training other skills too. So you go in and, you know, runecraft and chop wood and whatnot.
Why not? Yeah. What about a favorite pet? Have you ever had many pets?
Pets. Oof. That's a good question. I don't know if I've ever thought about that very much. I'm not a huge pet collector either. But I have the hunter pet, Ace, I think it is, and then the strength pet, the kangaroo. I really like Ace. The little
bird, eagle
he's
thing.
super cool. He's pretty cool, and he's like, you know, just flies behind you. He's pretty. I also like the Felix pet, of course, because I've got Fox in the on the channel. I've always liked. I thought the way she pounces, or he, the Felix, is very aesthetically pleasing. So that was always fun.
So,
yeah.
Where did you come up with the idea of playing RS3 story mode? Where was the inspiration from?
A story mode. You know, I was playing through this quest on my main account way back in the day, and I was just like, oh, how would these look as a TV show or like a movie? And, you know, you kind of envision like, okay, it says that all the gnomes are dead, but you can't see all the dead gnomes. But what if this was like in TV show format, and then, oh, you feel the emotion and that stuff. And I was like, is anyone else taking this lore seriously? And I'm looking around, and I know there are lore hounds, but all I see are, you know, like progression videos and money making guides and quest guides. And I'm not seeing a whole lot of people having fun with the lore. So I'm like, you know, story mode, that'd be fun, I think. So I, you know, keep playing through the quests. And then I'm like, okay, so if no one else is going to do it, I will. So, you know, I get a camera, I get a mic, and I just start going. And I had no idea the channel would take off this fast, which is crazy. But I'm glad I did it. Honestly, it's so much fun.
Because have you got any experience with like recording videos or anything like this before? Or is this literally kind of just...
This is my first time recording videos, not my first time editing videos, because like way back in the day when AMVs were still cool,
yeah,
I did some of those. So I had like an old video editing software that I still use, but this is pretty much my first time using like a webcam and a mic and recording.
Putting the different bits together. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had to learn very fast.
So do you record the webcam like separately from the in-game stuff, or do you do it on the same
Yes.
scene normally? You're doing two at
Nope.
once.
I'll record it on my like recording computer, and then I'll record the game on the other computer, and then transfer the game file to my editing computer, and then put it all together. And this just helps with like the zooms in on my
Yes.
face or
Yeah.
like separating everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have a very low resolution zoomed in kind of 2 pixel face like. Takes away from the
Oh, that'd be
TV
funny.
show elements of it.
Yeah. That'd be funny. It's a bit of an extra step, but I think it's working out well so far.
Yeah. So what's been the biggest challenge?
For the channel,
Yeah.
I would say the editing is so hard because whenever I record these quests, it takes like an hour. So I have like an hour and a half of footage. My last episode 5 took like an hour and a half of footage, and just trying to squeeze it all down into a 20-minute video. I couldn't even squeeze it down into 20 minutes. It had to be 40 minutes of content. So the editing, just all the little jump cuts and the, adding text and getting the audio just right. It's a lot. But it is also so worth it to see the final product. I'm like, yeah, I worked hard for that and it looks good.
Yeah,
So,
it's very satisfying when you just
Mhm.
press the export button and watch it back, and it's like, it actually all works. I don't need to go back in there and change it again.
Right. I don't need to listen to my voice saying the same thing 50 times
Yep.
anymore. Yeah. The other challenge is this is going to sound weird. What I also find challenging is just turning on the camera, like just starting the recording, because I always feel like something is wrong. Like, my hair isn't dry enough, or something in the background is off, or something's off. And I'm like, when I start this recording, I can't go back. And so it just takes me like a while to get myself hyped up to start recording. But then once you start, I'm playing the game, I'm having fun, and everything is smooth sailing from there.
It's just actually taking that first step. It's like right in the first word of a story, isn't it? That's always the hardest part.
Yeah.
Because I know you've been starting to dabble with doing streams and stuff as well. Do you think that's going to be a similar thing, or you're gonna?
I've actually had a lot of fun streaming. I don't know why it's so different. Because I did a couple of test streams on my YouTube channel, and I have, a Twitch channel. And everyone wants me to stream on Twitch rather than YouTube, so I'll probably move over to Twitch. But for the YouTube, it seemed to work, and I had fun like interacting with my chat, and people were, asking me questions, and I could ask them questions for feedback on my channel. And so it's just, I think that person-to-person interaction helps keep my energy up. Whereas if I'm recording, I'm just kind of talking to myself and having to constantly look back at the camera and pretend like someone's there. And so it is a bit of a different vibe. But I'm probably going to keep recording just because it's still so fun. And I'll probably do some streaming as well, just because that's fun as well.
I guess maybe for the stuff that's not quest based, maybe you have to do a bit of training of skills. Maybe that's the kind of thing you can just stream or whatever, rather than the actual quests that you want to do separately.
I was also planning on streaming, the bosses and the elite dungeons, because I'm going to need other people to carry me through those.
Yeah.
So those will probably be streamed. And then, of course, we all quest requirements for Prif. So we're gonna get that 75 summoning somehow. It's gonna be great.
He'll be alright. Charms aren't as hard to come by, I don't think, anymore. You just got do the first bit of Elite Dungeons and you'll have thousands of charms. You'll be fine. It's literally busted. It's so broken.
So I've heard. I've heard.
Yeah, so you won't have to worry, I think, about summoning. Are you gonna use like quest guides much?
I haven't much so far. Just so we can have like a more natural, like figuring out the puzzles. But for things like the Elemental Workshop and the Maze in Sliske's Endgame, probably I will. Or at least I'll have like a very small one and occasionally glance at it if I really can't figure it out. But for the most part, I'm trying not to. So it can all be, natural reaction and actually having fun.
It's a bit more satisfying when you work it out yourself as well, rather than just reading it off a page.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I ever did Waterfall Quest, I didn't use a guide. And guess who went washing out that room as soon as that cup was raised?
Oh man.
That at that point I was like, okay, no, I'm not. What have I done wrong here? So then I looked at the guide. I was like, okay, all right.
Yep. Yep. Oh, that's the feeling. Like, what's going on? Yep.
So, what about RuneScape 3 would you change to improve it?
Interesting. I've never been too much into the like nitty-gritty of the actual game creation. Like I said, I'm just here for the story. What would I change? I'm not terribly sure. I know there's plenty about the game that needs to change. Well, if I could change anything about the game, I would have consistent graphics. That would be nice. Because one person mentioned when I was in Draenor Manor, the manor itself was like super updated and nice, and then once you go down to the basement, everything like got pushed back 10 years and it was super old, and I was like, yeah, that's fair enough. So if like all of RuneScape could have updated graphics, I think it would look awesome. Like all the dig sites for archaeology, beautiful. Everlight is great. And if they could just do that for the whole of Gielinor, that's what I would change.
I feel like they're obviously trying to do that, but it's very slow and it's all linked to these events. Like they did the Crafting Guild one last year. They updated that, and then they've done the Dwarven Mine this week, which wasn't implemented too well. Yeah, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Although they did say on the stream that they'd already sort of seen the feedback and it hadn't gone out quite as they were expecting. So hopefully we're not going to have grey walls next to brown walls. That's the...
Hopefully.
Yeah. And
they're trying.
And something about the trapdoor as well. You just kind of disappear through the trapdoor rather than opening it.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of going to Runefest or managed to make it over?
I have never actually gone to Runefest. In fact, I didn't know about Runefest until like 1 or 2 years ago. And I'm over here in America, so going to Runefest would be, hard. But I mean, it's certainly not this year since we won't have really Runefest. But I think, heaven forbid, if the channel actually does take off, like enough, I think I would consider it. I think I would consider going to Runefest because there's a lot of people there, and I think it would be fun.
It is a place unlike any other, to be honest, because everyone around you is talking about RuneScape. Where else are you ever going to go that's the case? It's like the schoolyard back 15 years ago or whatever, where you're just talking about your levels, but everyone's there.
Yes. Oh, true.
Would highly recommend it.
Noted.
So do you play many other games, or is RuneScape kind of your vice?
No, I do play a lot of RuneScape, but I play a lot of Overwatch as well. Overwatch has been actually like a huge pillar in my gaming career, I guess. I dabble in Minecraft. I play a lot of Wizard 101, and I know that's a bit more of an older game, but it's kind of similar to RuneScape in that, it's a MMORPG, fantasy based, but it's more card game based. What else do I play? Honestly, I just kind of switch between 3 games all the time: RuneScape, Overwatch, and Wizard 101, and that's about it. But my brother is a huge gaming nerd, so sometimes he'll send me a game to try, and we'll play it together. We played Portal, like the multiplayer version. Yep. A while back, and that was a lot of fun. So I do dabble in other games, but RuneScape, especially right now with this channel, is pretty much my focus.
Overwatch is quite different. Is there any reason that kind of took your attention to get into? Because it's a bit of a bit more action orientated.
I know it is different, but again, that has to do with my brother because he showed me before the game first came out. He was one of the beta players, and he showed me a piece of art with all these characters, and he's like, which one is your favorite? And I was like, I don't know who any of these people are. But he showed me some of the content that he was playing, and I was like, oh, this seems kind of cool. So I looked into it, and this didn't come as a surprise, but the lore of Overwatch really got me into it as well. So I was like, oh, there's an actual story here. So, I got it when it first came out, and I've been playing it pretty much since release.
And the cinematics that Blizzard do for
yes.
for all of their games, they're so impressive.
I know. Hanzo was always my favorite. So when they released like a trailer teaser for Dragons, the one with Hanzo and Genji, I was like, I actually like screamed. It was so good. Anyway, enough about that. I wish RuneScape had cinematics.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. No, I was kind of going to go on to that. Like, there are obviously some cutscenes and some quests nowadays, but I mean, some of them they've kind of changed up the style a bit. I don't want to say anything more because obviously you haven't done them yet, so you'll get to them when you do.
Oh, those. Yep.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what I'm talking about or not?
Like the newer games, like Desperate Measures.
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah. So I don't want to spoil anything for you.
Okay, thank you. Right.
Where are we going? Do you think you'd ever branch out from RuneScape with like content creation? Do you think you'd do another game at any point?
I've been thinking about doing other games. I mean, this channel is still so brand new, so I've got a long way to go to RuneScape. But some friends of mine have been saying, hey, you should do World of Warcraft story mode. And I'm like, there's a lot of story there. I don't know. Someone else said Skyrim story mode. Someone else has said Wizard 101 story mode. So there's a lot of games with underrated lore, a lot. And I would love to go through all of them, but I don't know if I have that kind of time. I think I could branch out though, a bit at a time. So if I do RuneScape for a while and then start being more of a variety channel, it's something to consider. It's not out of the question.
Yeah, it is a dangerous thing, it seems, with doing content creation and stuff. You can get stuck in one game, and a lot of people have. Like Wazzy, who's watching right now, whenever he streams a game that's not RuneScape, viewers are probably about a quarter of what they would be. So it's a very tricky thing to balance that. But
that's true.
With YouTube, it's slightly different because obviously it is out there for everyone to watch at any time and come across it.
Yeah.
So Skyrim would be interesting. I'd like to see that. I don't really know any of the lore behind Skyrim. I've played it years ago, but it sounds...
Gotcha. Yeah, neither do I, so that would be a completely clean run-through. If I did.
Alright. So I've pretty much covered everything I had to go through. We, flew through that in, half an hour.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That was... so speedy. Right, well, chat, have you got any questions or anything? I'll think of a couple more as well. But if anyone in chat has got any questions, please pop them in there, and we'll see what they want to know.
Also, hello, chat. I'm Jaxyys. I know he introduced me at first, but in case we have any new people.
Wazzy, what's your secret to having such good skin?
A good lamp. Good lighting. Good skin? I don't know. Ask the person I got it from. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. Washing it?
Basic hygiene.
Basic hygiene, I guess.
Triple Dylan asking how you're finding the YouTube RuneScape community so far.
A lot better than I thought it was going to be. I know that sounds bad, but I came into the community fully expecting everyone to want, walkthroughs or money-making guides or progression videos, because that's what you see on YouTube. And so when I started posting story mode and everyone was like, yes, we've been looking for lore content. We want more lore. I was like, okay, good, excellent. So honestly, I love it. I love you guys. This is great. And thank you so much for welcoming me with open arms and being such great supporters.
Have you been attacked by the spam bots that want to be your friend? Have you ever had that?
A little bit, yes. And we did get a troll in the Discord earlier on in my YouTube career, so the other people were like, Jaxyys, you made it, because we've had a troll who was spamming the Discord. So that was great.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, if anyone
Yeah.
watching has got any questions they would like to ask, feel free to pop them in. I'm going to ask one that, well, a lot of Americans don't seem to eat curry, but are you much of a curry person?
I heard this question
Yeah.
on the other. Am I much of a curry person? I gotta say no, just because I'm not a huge spice person. I don't like spicy things very much. Sorry, no, I'm, your average American.
Why am I so
I don't
obsessed
know.
with curry? Well,
I don't know.
it's just it's like, it's that question that I ask everybody to see what, like, there might be some person from America that actually knows what curries are. Oh yeah, here's one from last time as well. What is a flapjack?
What is a flapjack? It is a type of pancake.
Right, it's been nice having you on.
Pray tell, what is a flapjack?
A flapjack. I'll put it on stream. I've got the image from last time.
Oh boy.
Wait, that's not a flapjack. That's
Oh, Wazzy, hang on.
No, that's not a flapjack. That's not a flapjack. Where's the flapjack?
I'm open to learning. See, I was raised on flapjacks being
there it was.
pancakes.
I saw
Okay.
it. Okay, so that is a pancake right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is flapjack. Doesn't look that appealing,
extreme
right?
latency.
Yeah, there'll be a couple of seconds at least, but wait, hang on.
I can't see it. Yeah.
Yep, I need to press the button. There we go. That's my bad.
Great.
There.
Flapjacks or pancakes?
There you go.
That's a flapjack?
That is a flapjack. It's like oats and honey and kind of.
Is that a British thing?
I assume so. Yeah. It
There you
feels like
go.
it must
See,
be.
I've never seen that before. There you go. See, I grew up on the TV show Flapjack, and so they kept referring to flapjack as a pancake. It's not my fault. It's not my fault, Wazzy. I'm sorry. I'm trying. See, my mind has been enlightened.
Changing lane, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
You already asked this question, Lane. For me personally, I would say no. But I've had many other people swear by pineapple on pizza. So, there's got to be something to it, I guess. I don't dig it. But, hey, whatever.
It's a little bit of sweetness. Just a bit of variety. It's nice.
Fair enough. Little tangy mixed with like the cheese, I guess.
Yeah.
I could see why it would be good.
It's one of those like weird mixes that I would say works for me.
Yeah.
Flapjack and chocolate together. Are we talking like actual flapjack or are we talking pancakes?
Because both sound pretty good.
Actually, yes.
Honestly.
Yeah. They do over here. You can get sometimes like the flapjack like I had on screen, but they've got like a layer of sort of chocolate coating on the bottom. Yeah, that's good.
I mean, anything with chocolate is good. So you just do that.
Okay. The number one thing wrong with American education.
Well, Mr. Eddie, it's been nice doing the interview. Man, I don't know. I went to a pretty good high school because I grew up in a military family. So, our high school was right next to a military base. So we had pretty good kids. So I'm not sure what to tell you.
I wasn't actually asking the question. I was just stating what was he had put in chat, but I was like, "Oh, we're gonna get an answer. Let's find out."
I just thought I'd explain everything wrong with America.
So, do you think you'll ever do it full time, like content creation stuff? Could you see it being your job?
Oh, maybe. It's a solid maybe because I've looked at all of the things that I'm doing on Jax's channel. I'm like, wow, this would be so much easier to do full time. I could, I could do more episodes. I could do like 3 episodes a week. I could stream more. I could have a Patreon. I could do this and that. But at the same time, I just don't know, man. You know, this is so new and it's, still just kind of a hobby right now. So I think that's a decision for future Jaxyys to handle.
Yeah, wait and just see how it pans out, and if you're still enjoying it as well, because you're probably still in like the honeymoon period, I guess, with it, and then maybe after a while it might, like you never know, the enthusiasm might die away. That unfortunately can happen.
I did. I was watching the RS guy on stream once, and someone asked him if he made enough money to like live comfortably off streaming, and he said, "Yeah, I do make enough money to live comfortably off streaming." And it's like, huh, interesting. You can actually make a living off of streaming. So, I mean, it's possible. I could do it. I could try at least. It's just, like as you said, this is kind of just the honeymoon phase, and we'll see. We'll see where this channel takes me.
Yeah, I feel like streaming is, I don't really want to say easier, but I feel like it's maybe the one that you've got a better chance of actually making a full living out of compared to YouTube, especially like RS3 YouTube. It's a bit of a limited audience. Like, have you ever played Old School? Or
I've
ventured
not,
into that?
actually.
No? Ever been tempted?
Yes. I mean, I've heard that Old School has a very, very large audience, and most of the content on YouTube is for Old School. What I was thinking about doing is, sometime in the future, doing some quests from Old School RuneScape and like looking into the lore and how much is different and whatnot. But that's also something to wait and see if I can get to that. Because when I first put out my first video, a lot of the comments were like, "Hey, this reminds me of buy release for OSRS," and I was like, "What's a buy release?" So I went ahead and checked it out, and I watched it, and I'm like, "Huh, yeah, I can see that. This guy's funny. This guy, is going through the quest." But I mean, our styles are different though, because he's just doing the quest for doing the quest, and I'm doing the quest to like look into the lore. But it just looking at OSRS, I was like, it is so vastly different, but it's like the same. So it's something I could look into in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be quite interesting to see, like, when you reached, I guess, effectively 2007, where the quest lines kind of diverge. There, you can kind of do both. I mean, initially, it's going to be funky for you because you're doing it in chronological order, like actual in-game chronological. Yeah. When you've got some quest series in the 5th age that aren't finished yet, right?
Yep, the Gnome series.
And there's something going on with Menafos as well, right? I know there's some funky time stuff with that. I haven't looked into it, but when I interviewed Galaxy Shark, he said that's going to be it. That's one of his like pet peeves, is that it just doesn't line up.
Yeah, that is true. I've always wondered about the ending of I can't remember the name of it. I think it's Fight Club is the title, where you you finally defeat the Pharaoh and then Osmond. Spoiler. But I mean that kind of just ends, and I'm like, there's no resolution here. So I guess there's supposed to be another quest coming. So that one's not done. The Gnome series not done. They finally finished the Pirate series, I think. Right? Yeah, with Pieces of Hate.
Yeah. I haven't done that one yet, but I'm kind of working towards the end game. Like, I've kind of worked through all the series, but not really finished a huge amount of them off, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of getting towards the Elf Wand. I had to get Prif because it's just such a cool place.
That's true. Prif is pretty cool. I didn't know what all the hype about Prif was until I finally got those quests done, and I'm looking around like, wow, okay, yeah, this place is cool.
Just like the initial like walking up and into it, and you've got all the clan banners and stuff.
It takes you a while to figure out where the clans are too. Because I was like, wait, which one is the Sire Wist? Which one is Omlad? Yeah.
They're all like Welsh names, aren't they? I think the Elven clans are all based off of Welsh words, which is quite
I'm
cool.
Pretty sure, yeah. That is cool. So
it's the little details.
Spoilers.
All right.
Welsh elves and stuff.
Well, if chat hasn't got any more questions, I think we will start to wrap it up and call it there.
Okay.
So, thank you very much for coming on. Is there anyone that you'd like to give a little shout out to?
Ooh, I mean, well, if I could just do a quick shameless plug, I did just hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, and so I'm gonna be doing my own Q&A live stream here in about a week, so probably next Saturday. So that'll be just fun. We're gonna raid some giant mole, and it's just gonna be a big hangout. That's gonna be on YouTube. And then I don't know, Wazzy seems cool, so go check out his channel if you're not already here because of Wazzy. Uh, yeah, just hey, I mean, whoever's watching and you're not in the Discord, you come on into the Discord. We've got plenty of content creators in there. So yeah, no, thank you so much for having me here. I'm sorry I talk so fast and this went by very quickly.
It doesn't matter. Like, we answered absolutely everything, and it just kind of flew along. It's all good.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Hope everyone that's watched has enjoyed. And until next time, stay safe.